The Prize, Chapter 1, The Third Wheel. Scene 1, The Apartment. Pepper, Sienna, Ryder.
Stop it! Ryder, seriously, put me down!
Sienna's shriek of laughter echoed through the thin walls of my run-down off-campus apartment. I stood in the kitchenette, drying a coffee mug with a rag that had seen better days, watching my boyfriend chase my best friend around the cramped living room. It was innocent, theoretically. Sienna had stolen Ryder's baseball cap, the one I bought him for his birthday, and was taunting him with it. She darted behind the lumpy beige sofa, her silk robe slipping off one shoulder to reveal flawless caramel skin. Ryder lunged for her, catching her around the waist. He lifted her off the ground easily, spinning her around while she kicked her long, bare legs and laughed. They looked good together. That was the thought that always punched me in the gut, no matter how many times I swallowed it down. Ryder was tall, broad, and golden, the classic warrior build. Sienna was tall, lithe, and fierce, a gamma with fire in her blood. Her long, dark red hair whipped around them like a flag. They moved with the same high-frequency energy. They were loud. They were physical. I looked down at my soapy, mocha-coloured hands. I was quiet.
Okay, Uncle!
Sienna gasped, her face flushed as Ryder dumped her unceremoniously onto the couch. He hovered over her for a second, bracing his hands on the cushions on either side of her head. They were both panting. For a heartbeat, the air in the room felt thick, charged. The dust motes dancing in the sunlight seemed to freeze. Then Ryder blinked, shaking his head, and stood up. He adjusted his t-shirt, looking over at me in the kitchen.
You okay, Pep? You've been quiet.
Just cleaning up. You guys made a mess with the popcorn.
Sienna threw it at me,
Ryder defended, walking over to wrap his arms around my waist from behind. He rested his chin on my shoulder, sighing contentedly.
You're too good to us, babe. Always cleaning up our messes.
He kissed my cheek. It was sweet. It was comfortable. But 10 seconds ago, he had been looking at Sienna like he wanted to devour her.
We should get going. Training starts in an hour, and I need to go home and find an outfit for tonight that says, I'm single, but expensive.
You're wearing the red dress.
Sienna paused. I paused, the dish towel going still in my hands.
I mean, you showed me the picture yesterday, at the gym. You said you were wearing the red dress.
Right. Good memory, Rye.
I thought tonight was casual. It's just the bonfire. Sienna walked over to the counter, leaning her hip against it. She reached out and tucked a loose, silver-streaked curl behind my ear. Her nails were perfectly manicured claws. Her eyes were pitying.
Oh, Pepper, it's the first bonfire of the season. The alphas will be there, the betas will be there, and the twins are coming home. You can't wear your comfy clothes. You need to look the part.
What part?
The girlfriend of the head warrior's son. Ryder is going to be counsel one day. He needs a mate who looks like she can handle the spotlight, not someone who looks like she's ready for a nap.
It stung. It was meant to sting. Freshman year, living with Sienna had been a blast. We were both nervous, both excited, both figuring out college. But over the last 2 years, something had shifted. As Sienna climbed the social ladder of the Gamma class, she had started treating me less like a roommate and more like an accessory. A project that she could never quite fix.
She looks fine, but maybe wear the jeans I like tonight? The tight ones? And the black top?
I looked between them, my boyfriend and my best friend. They were teaming up on me, reshaping me to fit their aesthetic. I have to go to work. I'll figure out what to wear later.
Ugh, work. You spend too much time in that dusty bookstore, Pepper. You smell like old paper.
I like the smell of old paper.
Well, we gotta run. I'll pick you up at 7 for the bonfire. Be ready. And try to, perk up a bit. It's a big night.
They left together. I watched from the window as they walked to Ryder's truck. He opened the door for her. They were laughing. I stood alone in my drafty apartment, listening to the dripping faucet, feeling like a ghost in my own life. Scene 2. The bookstore. Pepper and Tess. Pepper, hide me. I walked into the pages 20 minutes later, dropping my bag on the counter. Tess popped up from behind a stack of new releases. Her pink-streaked blonde hair was standing up in every direction, and her blue eyes were wide with excitement.
I can't hide you. I'm too busy hyperventilating.
Let me guess. The twins?
The twins! Pepper, have you seen the pictures? The Gazette just dropped the arrival photos. They touched down an hour ago.
She shoved her phone in my face. I squinted at the screen. It was a grainy photo taken from a distance at the private airstrip, but the subjects were unmistakable. 2 men. They were massive. Even in the pixelated photo, you could see the sheer size of them. They towered over the flight crew. They were dressed in black tactical gear that strained across broad chests and thick thighs. One of them, Knox I assumed, had sleeves of dark, jagged tribal tattoos running down his arms to his knuckles. He was scowling at the camera. The other, Kian, was leaning against a black SUV, looking calm and lethal. His tattoos were geometric, sharp lines fading under his shirt. They looked terrifying.
They look like they could ruin my life, and I would thank them. They are unmated, Pepper. Unmated. Do you know what that means?
It means they're going to be looking for high-ranking she-wolves. Alphas, betas, maybe a strong gamma like Sienna. They aren't going to look at us.
Speak for yourself. I'm wearing my push-up bra today, just in case they decide to buy a book. Rumor has it they're cleaning house. Kian is auditing the finances, and Knox is reevaluating the warriors. Heads are going to roll.
My stomach tightened. Ryder is worried about that. He thinks Kian is going to come after his dad's budget.
Good. Ryder thinks the world owes him a living. Maybe the executioners will knock him down a peg.
She paused, looking at me closely. Her smile faded.
You look sad, Pep.
I'm just tired. Sienna was over this morning.
Ah, the Red Menace. Let me guess. She made you feel small, Ryder watched it happen, and then they left together?
I didn't answer. I didn't have to.
You deserve better, you know. You're the glue, Pepper. You hold them together. If you ever walked away, they'd crumble.
I'm not the glue. I'm the piece. That's what Ryder calls me. His piece.
Peace is just another word for silence. And one day, you're going to get tired of being quiet.
The Prize. Chapter 2. The Bonfire. Scene 1. The Trees. Ryder's POV. Internal, adrenaline-filled, fast. The bass from the campus bonfire thumped in my chest, syncing with the frantic, pounding rhythm of my own heart. I pulled Sienna deeper into the shadows of the tree line, away from the prying eyes of the freshmen drinking cheap beer by the fire. I pressed her back against the rough bark of an oak tree, my hands tangling in her long, dark red hair. The moment our skin touched, the static shock was nearly painful. Mate, my wolf growled, pacing circles in my mind. Mine. Claim. I kissed her, hard. It wasn't soft or sweet like kissing Pepper. Kissing Pepper was like sinking into a warm bath. It was relaxing. Kissing Sienna was like sticking a fork in an electrical socket. It rattled my teeth. It made my blood run hot.
Ryder, wait, stop.
I groaned, resting my forehead against hers. The scent of her, burnt sugar and exotic spice, was drowning me. I can't stop. The bond, It's getting stronger, see? It's driving me crazy.
Good. It's supposed to. That's how you know it's real. Unlike...
She trailed off, leaving the name hanging in the air. Pepper. My stomach gave a guilty lurch. I looked back toward the fire where I knew Pepper was standing by the kegs in that beige sweater dress I'd made her wear. She looked so small from here, so out of place. She's waiting for me. I told her I'd be right back.
Let her wait. We need to talk about Saturday. The gala. The announcement. We have to tell the pack. We can't keep sneaking around like this. The twins are back. If we don't solidify our position as the power couple of the warrior caste now, we look weak.
I know, but the announcement is going to crush her, Sienna. Doing it publicly? It feels cruel.
It's necessary. Ryder, look at me. You are the future alpha warrior. Pepper is... sweet. She's great at organizing your schedule. But is she a Luna? Is she a warrior?
She's my piece. I need that piece, see?
That's why you keep her around. I'm not saying you have to banish her, Ryder. We can still be friends with her. She can still be part of the inner circle. But I wear the ring. I stand on the stage.
You really think she'll stay?
Please. Where else would she go? She has no family. She has no rank. You're her whole world, Ryder. She'll take whatever scraps you give her because she's terrified of being alone.
She traced a finger down my chest.
Do the announcement on Saturday. Claim me. Let the pack see us. And then, on Sunday, you go over to Pepper's with a coffee and an apology, and she'll forgive you. She always does.
Okay. Saturday. We do it.
Scene 2. The kegs. Pepper's Pove. The bonfire crackled, but I felt cold. I stood by the kegs, clutching a red Solo cup, shifting my weight. The beige sweater dress felt itchy against my mocha skin. Where is he? Then I saw him. Ryder emerged from the tree line. He walked toward me, that confident stride that usually made me smile. But tonight he looked flushed.
Hey, sorry, babe. Ran into Coach. You know how he talks.
I looked at him. His hair was messy. His lips were swollen. I leaned in to kiss his cheek, expecting the usual softness. Instead, my body went rigid. A low, vibrating sound started deep in my chest. Too deep to be a hum, too quiet to be a growl. My wolf. She had been dormant for years, lulled to sleep by Ryder's dismissal of my wild side. But now, she was awake, and she was angry.
Pep, you okay? You're stiff.
You smell... I trailed off. The scent hit me. It wasn't sweat or beer. It was burnt sugar. Sienna. My wolf paced in my mind, her claws scraping against my skull. Liar. Betrayer.
I smell like smoke. Someone spilled a drink near the fire. Come on, let's get you home. You look tired.
He squeezed my waist. I looked at his blue eyes. He wouldn't lie to me. Not Ryder. He was my future. He was my safety. Okay. I let him lead me away, but for the first time in a year, his hand felt cold in mine, and the smell of burnt sugar followed us all the way back to the apartment, a ghost I couldn't shake. The Prize. Chapter 3. The Trade-In. Scene 1. The Transformation. Pepper and Ryder. Saturday night arrived like a funeral procession. I stood in front of the bathroom mirror staring at my reflection. The beige silk dress Ryder had insisted on hung loosely on my frame. It was a sack. It hid the curve of my waist, the width of my hips, and washed out the rich warmth of my mocha skin until I looked grey. My hair, usually a wild cloud of silver-streaked curls, was gelled back into a severe, tight bun.
Perfect. You blend right in. Come on, we can't be late.
He leaned into the doorway, looking devastatingly handsome in his tuxedo. He didn't tell me I looked beautiful. He told me I looked quiet. We arrived at the pack house. As soon as we entered, Ryder straightened his spine. He waved at a few warriors, his golden boy smile firmly in place. Then he saw her. Sienna. She was standing near the Alpha's platform. She wasn't wearing beige. She was wearing red. A tight, backless crimson gown that screamed for attention. Her dark red hair was a cascading waterfall. She looked like fire. Ryder didn't look at me. He looked at her with a hunger he had never, not once in 2 years, directed at me.
Go find a spot by the hydration station. I have to network with the elders. I can't have you hovering.
Okay, scene 2. The terrace. The breakup. 2 hours later. My feet hurt. I'd spent the entire evening standing by the water cooler, sipping lukewarm water, clutching Ryder's coat like a servant. I needed fresh air. I slipped out the French doors onto the terrace. It was empty, save for 2 figures standing in the shadows near the stone railing.
Ryder, just do it now.
I know. I'm just waiting for the right time. She's fragile. She cries easily.
She's an anchor, Ryder. She's dragging you down. Look at you. You're the future head warrior. You need a partner, not a pet.
My breath hitched. I stepped back, trying to leave before they saw me, but my heel clicked on the stone. They turned. Ryder didn't look guilty. He looked relieved.
Pepper.
He stepped out of the shadows. Sienna stood beside him, smirking, her arm possessively looped through his. You were talking about me.
We were talking about the future. Pepper, look. You're a great girl. Really. You're sweet. You keep my apartment clean. You make great coffee.
Coffee? I'm your girlfriend of 2 years, Ryder, not your barista.
That's the thing. You're a great domestic partner. But Ryder is a warrior. He needs fire. He needs status. He needs a gamma.
She stepped closer, looking me up and down with open disdain.
Look at you, honey. You're cozy. Vanilla. You're the girl a man settles for when he's ready to retire. Ryder is in his prime.
I looked at Ryder, waiting for him to defend me. He just shrugged.
She's right, Pep. I need someone who can stand next to me in the circle. Someone fit. Someone less heavy.
He gestured vaguely at my hips.
I can't bring you to council meetings. You get anxious. You're an omega. It doesn't look right.
So that's it. 2 years, and I'm just a bad look.
Don't make this dramatic. I'm not kicking you out on the street. You can keep the key to the apartment until the end of the month. Just maybe stay in your room when Sienna comes over. It would be awkward.
You want me to stay while you date her?
Well, yeah. Where else would you go? You can't afford a place on your own. I'm trying to be nice here, Pepper.
He's keeping you as a charity case. God, have some dignity, you fat little mouse. Leave.
Something inside me fractured. I looked at Ryder, the man I thought I loved, the man I had cooked for, cleaned for, and dimmed my light for. He wasn't a golden god. He was just a boy who liked shiny things. I'm leaving.
Good. Leave the coat on the chair.
Scene 3. The rain. I dropped his coat on the wet pavement. I turned around. I walked back through the party, past the laughing guests, past the life I was never really part of. I walked out the front door and into the rain. I didn't have a car. I walked 3 miles back to my apartment in my beige dress and heels. By the time I got home, the beige silk was ruined. My hair was wild and wet, the gel washing away to reveal the silver streaks Ryder hated. My makeup was running down my face. I locked the door. I slid down to the floor, and I started to scream. The Prize, Chapter 4, The Summoning. Scene 1, The Depression. Pepper. I didn't leave my apartment for 3 days. The first day was spent crying until my eyes were swollen shut. The second day was spent staring at the water-stained ceiling, replaying the moment Ryder's hand dropped from my waist over and over again. "You're just a bad look." The words echoed in the empty room, bouncing off the walls like a physical blow. The third day I just felt hollow, like someone had scooped me out and left nothing but the shell. My phone had died somewhere on the floorboards on day 1, and I hadn't bothered to charge it. I knew what was waiting for me. Pity texts from classmates who saw me walking in the rain, maybe a fake apology from Ryder, silence from Sienna. I rolled over, burying my face in my pillow. The scent of the gala, that cloying mix of expensive perfume, stale champagne, and betrayal, still felt like it was clinging to my mocha skin, no matter how many times I scrubbed myself in the shower. I was just drifting back into a fitful, nightmare-filled sleep when the sound of keys jingling in the lock made my heart jump. The door swung open, banging loudly against the wall.
Scene 2. The Rescue. Okay, enough. The mourning period is officially over.
Tess, my best friend, and the only Omega I knew with a backbone made of steel, marched into the room. She was holding 2 large coffees and a bag of bagels, looking like a pink-haired tactical unit sent to extract a hostage. "Go away." My voice sounded like I'd swallowed gravel.
Not a chance.
She kicked the door shut behind her. She marched to the window and ripped the curtains open. Sunlight assaulted my eyes. I hissed, pulling the duvet over my head.
Get up, Pepper. Attendance is mandatory for the homecoming ceremony today. If you don't show, the council fines you $500. And since you're currently eating ramen 5 nights a week, I know you can't afford that fine.
I can't go, Tess. He'll be there. She will be there, looking like the royal couple. Everyone is going to look at me and see the girl who wasn't good enough.
Then don't look at them.
She sat on the edge of the bed, grabbing my hand. Her grip was tight, grounding.
Look at me. Look at the scary new beta twins and try to guess which one has killed more people. Look at the alpha. Look at the sky. But do not stay in this room and let Ryder think he broke you.
She reached into her oversized tote bag and pulled out a hanger. She tossed a dress onto the bed. It wasn't beige, it wasn't grey, it was black. Simple, sleek, and sharp.
Black, simple, elegant. Like you're going to a funeral for Ryder's ego.
I looked at the dress. Then I looked at Tess. I don't have the energy to fight.
You don't have to fight. You just have to stand there. I'll do the glaring for both of us.
I sat up slowly. My head spun. I felt weak, but looking at the black dress, I felt a tiny spark of something that wasn't sadness. Spite. Okay, I'll go. The Prize, Chapter 5, The Gods of War. Scene 1, The Square, Pepper. The packed square was suffocating. I kept my head down, staring at the scuffed toes of my boots. Up at the front, Ryder stood tall, his golden hair perfectly styled. Beside him stood Sienna, clinging to his arm. They looked like royalty. I felt like a shadow. You weren't enough. Too quiet, too soft, too Omega. A hush fell over the crowd. 2 black SUVs rolled into the square. The doors opened and the air temperature seemed to drop. Scene 2. The arrival. The twins. Knox stepped out first. Massive. Dark hair, messy and windblown. Golden eyes that scanned the crowd with utter boredom. The physical force. Then Kian, just as tall but colder, calculated. The mind. They were the executioners, the pack's most dangerous weapons. As they walked past Ryder, ignoring him completely, the wind changed. The scent hit me like a physical impact. Dark chocolate and gunpowder. Rain on hot asphalt. Scene 3. The bond. The panic. My dormant wolf slammed against my ribs. Mate! The word rang through my head like a gunshot. No! Please, moon goddess, no! I stumbled back, clutching Tess's arm. If I wasn't enough for Ryder, these 2 would destroy me. They would look at me. A curvy, quiet omega with silver-streaked curls and wide hips. And they would laugh. Up on the pavement, Kian froze. Knox stopped beside him. They turned, their eyes locking onto me instantly. Panic, cold and sharp, washed over me. I couldn't survive another rejection. Not from them.
Pepper?
Run. I turned and bolted, sprinting away from the square, away from the bond, away from the inevitable heartbreak. The shadows are lengthening. That is the end of this chapter. Can't wait to see what happens next. You don't have to. Download the full, uninterrupted story right now at the link below. Otherwise, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next chapter. Sweet nightmares.